We'll finish it with our movie talk,
Do the
but
movies. All right,
we're going to talk about
that'll work.
Kentucky
Oh,
and how bad I feel.
oh gosh.
I have way too many friends that have cheered at Kentucky that I know are so depressed today
Right.
and were yesterday. And it makes me sad for them that in lots of ways their legacy
Right.
is tarnished, even though the people that truly know it's not tarnished at all,
Right.
because the people that truly know have all been there, and we all cheered in college, and not to say that. Here's my feelings on the outside, only reading what I read yesterday. I could totally see myself doing the exact same thing, throwing that basket toss off the dock with
Right.
who, unfortunately, not unfortunately, fortunately, are we all know that those teammates on your college team are your family. They're not. Um, so that would have been fun. Not anything, nothing sexual. That could have just
Right.
been a good time for kids that are in college.
Correct.
College, not high school.
Yeah, that's right.
They're adults,
I mean,
and it makes me. I never did naked basket tosses,
right.
but I could have seen myself if that had happened with my either two of my squad. Maybe probably my Georgia Southern squad more than my Georgia College squad.
There you
They would have probably been the group that we could have had that kind of fun. But yeah, I mean, I'm depressed that the kids are. I don't know the kids now, and who knows what they did back then. I do. What I do know is T. Lynn, and I know Jomo, and I've spent time in T. Lynn's house, and to hear them say that, well, T. Lynn was just inside cooking. Yeah, he loved. That's what he. When I was at the one time at his house back in '97, just taking care of his kids.
Right.
That's who he was, or who he is. He's a guy who loved those kids, treated them like family,
Right.
took care of them like family, and to have the name tarnished now is upsetting. And no, I didn't cheer Kentucky. Wish I could have. Wish I was good enough to.
Right.
But lots of friends that I know that cheered from the '80s through the '90s that are very sad today.
It's been a lot.
Yeah.
So I saw it yesterday morning about 10:30. Go on Facebook to do my morning thumbing
Right.
through everything and see that it's the article that was or it's a news article from a news agency in Lexington. Former Sprayberry counselor I'm friends with. She posted it. They live in Kentucky now. And read through it and it's just jaw hit the floor.
Yeah.
And it's just you just went, oh my gosh. But then your brain goes a million different directions. You start thinking about it as an athlete. Okay, this is college. Stupid stuff happens in college.
Yeah.
Every college, stupid things happen. It's just it's part of college. But then you start thinking of it from the coaching side, being a coach, being an older. I just say I'm
course.
getting older.
Yeah.
And you start thinking about it different ways. So you start thinking about it from there. It's like, okay, could I get away with this?
No.
As a coach, absolutely not.
I got it.
And then I start thinking about it from the administrative side. Just from just the small things I do at school. Having a little bit of sight into the admin.
All right.
Start thinking about it in every different way. And then I went into the ASGA, Facebook group. Was reading some of the posts from there and some.
Okay,
of the,
which I have not done,
okay.
so that's all. This will be new to me.
It's interesting because the articles are posted and not much is being said. As far as coaches in there giving their opinions, but one consistent thing I saw in there was that the coaching staff and the advisor at Kentucky, they are the epitome of professionalism with everything they do. And they're saying that this is the experience we've always had with them. And so you go, okay, cool. And I don't personally know them.
Yeah.
If they walked in right now, it would just be like, you'd have to tell me,
Okay.
this is who they are.
Right.
I recognize pictures, but I wouldn't be able to say,
Yeah.
they wouldn't walk in and say, hey, Lane, how are you? But I can only go with what I've heard from people, that they're complete professionals with everything. And so you start thinking, okay, if that's it, I mean, if they knew about it and they were there while if the things are true, if it was happening, okay, then yeah, you got some issues going on from the university.
Right.
if it was you knew about it but you weren't there, that's that gray area to where you have to do some internal investigating and just within your own program and discipline where you need to. If it was things that college students are just doing on their own out from where you are, how are you going to catch that?
Yeah.
It's kind of like say I'm a police officer right now. There's someone speeding on Mars Hill Road, and I'm not there to see it. I can't do anything about it. So
Right.
it's such a hard thing, and I don't know what
Yeah.
happened. I wasn't there.
Right.
I always tell
Of course.
my kids, my students, everybody, especially when there's like a conflict with Sprayberry, that there's three sides to every story. There's this side, the other side, and then there's the
real
truth
story,
that
yeah.
happened in the middle. And we'll never get it.
No.
It's just but it is. It's a punch in the stomach to Kentucky, to the university, to the cheerleading program, the alumni, the current. Do I think it's a death penalty thing? No.
No, because it's not an NCAA.
It's
That right.
It's not NCAA sanctioned.
Correct.
That's another one we could spend a whole session
Uh,
talking
right,
about
yeah,
the differences.
that's our
there,
next
but
podcast.
There you go. But is it a little bit of a tarnish? Yeah. I mean, but it's Kentucky.
That's my
going to get the talent.
yeah.
Kids are going to go there. They're going to get a top notch.
I hope so.
Coach.
I hope so.
And
I do see it just because taking a hit though, but I my belief is that wrong or right, I know as I cheered in college, my advisor felt the same way, treated the same way. We would have gotten all in the same trouble.
right.
If we had gotten caught doing something that we shouldn't have been doing. Yes, we were kids. Yes, they were kids. They should have gotten in trouble for whatever they were doing. They shouldn't have been doing that, technically, even though we know that that's what they were probably doing and they were having a
Right.
good time doing it. But Jomo's been coaching for, I think, 20 years now. I mean, Salim coached before him.
Yeah.
That's when I was friends with people there. But Jomo was on that team. And T-Lin's been there since the early 80s, since they were competing at UCA in
Right.
San Diego.
Yeah.
And probably a little bit before that, probably even in San Antonio. Yeah, that shows my age.
Said he'd been there for 40 years.
Yeah.
I'm 40.
I'm 48. And it's like, yeah, it makes me sad because he is an awesome dude.
Right.
Jomo's an awesome dude. And everybody that I know that has cheered there has been awesome people, and it makes me sad for their legacy.
It is, yeah. Okay. As I read it, I kept thinking Duke lacrosse from
Right.
06. That was a horrible thing. Those three guys who get accused of rape from a
Definitely a different kind of situation, but
completely-
yeah.
yeah. They're not even apples and
No,
oranges. It's
no.
two different ball
Yeah.
games, but similar enough to where it's something that put a tarnish on
Yeah.
their program. It ended the Duke lacrosse season,
Yep.
but 3 years later they have a national title.
Do they?
They bounced right back.
Well, let's hope that.
And that's what I'm hoping for, because
Yeah,
UCA College Nationals without Kentucky,
without Kentucky is not going to be the
yeah,
same.
it's not UCA College National.
Sorry to every other team.
Yeah.
Who's going to beat Kentucky this year? That's what it.
That's
There's always UCF is
UCF
great.
did it.
And, there's.
I had a
I've been
student
through the
that-
years of
yeah.
there's lots of. There was years when it was NC State,
Yeah, NC State, or could have been Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah, it's just
There was all Tennessee at a time. So yeah, everyone's been nipping at the tails.
Right.
But I want to see it continue. I like
do too.
that. My gym was my first mascot was. It was already named Wildcats, but I took on the persona of the my chant. I had signed CATS, and
There you go.
I believe we took the same cheer that they used in '97, and I just used it and changed it to my.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I had sad.
It is, yeah. But it's
Hope that it survives and it will come back with somebody else. I still think that. I hope that it's yes, what we hear happened was bad.
right.
But also they were college kids. They probably should maybe get kicked off the team or something. I disagree with a 40-year vet that has done all this great things, and a 20-year vet has done all these great things to just be. But I know that's the world we live in, and it makes me sad that I could see it probably being you know, we don't know what, how it got brought up or whatever, but I could see. Sad thing, I feel like is probably a mother of a kid who didn't make the floor
That's-
at
and
nationals, and that's how they.
that is the
That's
basically,
ridiculous.
from my reading between I read the university's official post, I read the article, and then I went to also Cheer Twitter, which is worse than daytime TV. It's
right.
it's horrible, but it's great. It's
You
that
love
guilty
it.
pleasure.
You love
yeah,
it.
but the rumors are that it was a parent of,
Yeah.
of a kid who was on white, felt should have been on blue.
Right.
And
Oh, there you go.
here's all the stuff. And
Not knowing any of that, but that's how I
this
feel.
parent's been labeled a Karen, which I hate it for all the Karens in the world who are nice, lovely ladies who have now been lumped into that stereotype of, I can't get my way, so I'm just going to pitch a fit. And,
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, you have no clue, and that's the hard part about. You don't want to take. I don't want to take a side. I'm not going to take a side. I'm going to stick right in the middle where I normally
Yeah.
do. And you say somewhere there's the truth, but
Yeah.
I hate it for just like this season being ended. I hate it for the current athletes. I hate it for those coaches who have now they're out of a job
Yeah.
and everything. And again, 40 years. I mean, I can only think. Like I said, I'm 41, and I can only think that when let's say I'm doing the same thing I've been doing for 40 years. Now all of a sudden I'm out of a job.
Yeah.
For something that you hope they can bounce back. They can move on, but
Definitely. I know Jomo could get a job anywhere,
Right.
but I don't know if the man would want to. The guy cheered
Yes.
at Kentucky. He's
Right.
coached at. I mean, like, I'm sure that his goal was to be T. Lynn one day.
I could see it. Yeah,
That
See that.
one day that this, this, not knowing that, but I could only imagine. That's how
Right.
I would feel if I was a 20-year coach at Kentucky. That one day
How
that
would
this
you-
is
I mean,
this is
I would. I mean,
great job, great thing to do.
mean,
Yeah,
I mean, if I had the opportunity to go back and coach baseball at Kennesaw State, and I was there for 20 years, I played baseball at Kennesaw and going there and to coach there for 20 years, and all of a sudden I'd be ousted. Would I want to go right down the road and go to Georgia Tech or go to Georgia or somewhere else? I mean, that's Kennesaw's home to me.
yeah.
I mean, that's where I got the first degree. Play ball. That's the connection there. So
Yeah.
do you really want to? I mean, and nothing against the other school, but do you want to coach at Kentucky, cheer at Kentucky, coach at Kentucky, and then just go over to
No.
Louisville? I mean, who knows? So
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that. Those people, all my friends that I know are true blue.
there you go.
There's no other color.
I can see that. Yeah,
Yeah, makes me sad.
it is. It's just like I said though. I think the program is too strong for something like this to let them completely derail them. Again, the talent's still going to go there. They're going to get a top-notch coaching staff. It's be under a microscope for a few years, and then
Right.
But hopefully they learn from it, and whatever happened, again, all those behind-the-scene things that they'll.
Well, it'll definitely put a damper on all the all the other college teams.
That's right.
Yeah, because I mean, hey, I know Wendell doesn't want to hear it, and Dr. Fly doesn't want to hear it, but we did the same stuff.
It's
Minus the naked basket tosses,
Right.
even though I would have participated.
we
I
did-
could have had a good time at the lake doing that
We
with friends and
we didn't-
family.
We didn't do naked base running at Kennesaw.
Yeah, no.
we didn't do.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's college athletics and it's
Yeah.
college in general, and
Yeah.
stupid stuff happens on every campus in America. And
I did so much stupid shit in college.
we-
I did.
I'm the public educator. I don't want to say much.
I'm
but
not,
did
and
we-
I will admit it.
Did we do some stupid stuff at Kennesaw? Yeah, there were stupid things that happened.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's a part of college, and a lot of other people have commented on this about how they're adults. They're out there doing that. You may be 18 years old, you may be 21 on that, but you're still a kid. in that
Yeah,
age
you
group.
are. We were.
You're still.
Yeah.
I mean, again,
And we should have gotten in trouble if we'd gotten caught.
yeah, that's the other thing. If you get caught,
I'm not excusing it.
that's.
No.
I mean, if what they're saying happened, then yeah, you deserve the punishment.
Maybe
Just because
those kids should have gotten
you're-
kicked off, and that's how it should have
You're
gone.
free to choose whatever you want to do. You're just not free from the consequences.
Right.
And I tell my athletes that all the time. The guys, you can go to after a football game, you can go to cookout and go there until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. But if you show up tomorrow, drag ass around and our competition goes bad, there's a consequence to that. So you had the choice, but there's a consequence. Just understand that and
Yeah.
help let that guide you to good decisions. So,
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
I had too much fun cheering in college to feel too bad about that these kids having the same kind of fun that I probably had in college,
No, I got you.
minus that one thing. And like I said, I'm not hating,
Right.
because family, and I could see that happening with people that I cheered with in college, and
No, I
could
get
have maybe. I don't know. 'Cause
Yeah.
we never did, so
Right.
I don't know if we would have done that, but that wouldn't shock me,
Right.
and it would have been a great time, and the stories we could have told. And
That-
can you
that's
believe that
it.
day we did that? That was nuts, because
There were
we're
no
still doing
cameras.
that now, talking on Zooms during this dang
Yeah.
quarantine, talking about all the good times we had. I can pull out a picture of my Georgia Southern cheerleaders with a bottle of vodka right there.
Right.
Not the right thing,
Not the best thing. Right.
but college,
It's
it is what it
I mean,
is.
we get together. I've got a close group of guys. There were 10 seniors, baseball. That we were all together. We grew up from age 5 playing, and 9 of us still get together
Nice.
regularly. And the phone calls, the text message we have, we're horrible. And we're
Filthy.
absolutely horrible.
No one wants to hear.
No,
You don't
no
want
one wants to
anybody to
hear
hear
it.
that. I know.
Right.
I got the
But
same.
we are horrible. But it's because we're so close. They are. It's like
The trust.
9 other brothers that I have. I got 2 older brothers, but these are 9 additional ones in there. But the stupid things that happened, and we were rehashing a couple of other stupid things that happened back in high school and then early on in college with us, and it was just there are no cameras. That's a good thing.
Right.
There are no cameras out there. There's no nothing. But again, it happens.
The cameras were still there. I have learned this in this group that I started on from Georgia College on Facebook during the quarantine to see all these.
Yeah.
Yes, there were cameras, but cameras were not used to catch anybody. Pictures were, hey, y'all, come in here. We're getting a picture.
Hey, let's take a photo. Right.
That was what.
It wasn't
or-
there's something fun happening or something's going on. Hey, let me record this to find out.
Right.
Let
There
me
was
do
no, the recording. Yeah.
It's a right there. You go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it was.
You
That's
had
the
to make an effort if you wanted to record something.
Correct.
Back then.
Yeah. Luckily, none of my craziness was recorded. Some of it is on film.
I think we got some from Kennesaw baseball. There's a little bit out there.
Well, that was.
Just like into the season stuff. And,
Well, you're younger. You might have had a better camera at that point. How old are you?
41.
41. Yeah. So you got 8. I got 8. 7 and
Yeah.
7 years on you.
I finished at Kennesaw 2001.
Okay.
Listen,
That's when I started coaching.
kids don't do it. Don't
Yeah,
do
that's-
stupid stuff.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
I'm not saying that any of it was right.
Yeah. no.
I just want to defend the legacy and the people that I know that didn't weren't out there giving him alcohol.
That's right.
I could promise you that. I know, like I said, when I was at his house, there were not drinks being served. And
Yeah.
if I could, I can remember back. I'm sure we went out to their car and filled up drinks or something, and then going to be sneaky about it.
And that's
None of that's right,
Right.
but I'm trying to defend the program
No, I got you.
because kids are kids.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I mean, I can say I was never in an athletics position where coaches were feeding things to us, saying, "Hey,
No.
here, have this."
No.
It was just like absolutely not. And,
Yeah.
and if you even said it right now, like my coaches at Kennesaw, my coaches in at Chipola or Gordon, or cheer coaches in high school, anything. If you said, "Hey, they did this," no, never
Yeah.
did they do that. And I would go to bat for them just like the Kentucky alumni and current athletes who are going to bat for their coaches now. And so
Yeah.
like I said, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I'll never know. It'll just be hey, this is what happened. This is the news. Here's
Yeah.
the article, and
There it is.
that's just how it went down.
Well, let's hope they make a comeback.
Absolutely.
I want them to. I want it to.
Yes.
Like I said, it won't
Well,
be the
my-
same without them like
It-
that. So
it's one of those and I don't have the huge connection. I'm never really a Kentucky fan, just as a university. I mean, I grew up
of course.
a Notre Dame fan,
All right.
and but just you knew how good Kentucky was at cheerleading, and the reputation was so strong that my high school, our uniform was modeled after their blue uniform. So I've got
Right, the
sitting at
connections,
my house
yeah.
the exact same uniform, but instead of a K on the chest, there's an N.
And it's navy blue.
And it's that
Or is it
Royal.
Is it royal blue?
Royal,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, so I've got
I thought they were navy.
photos of it, and that's a great. So I mean, it's a
Yeah.
again. Let's hope they come back and get back to doing what
Yeah.
they do.
CATS, cats, cats,
That's right.
cats. All right.
Woodland High School too.
We'll be back.